Welcome to Navigating Your 20s. I'm your host, Jess Hugo, and I am so excited to have you here. I'm an online personal trainer and nutritionist. Honestly, underneath it all, I am just a girl who is struggling, thriving, and surviving somehow all at once. So if this is you, you are not alone. If you want all the juicy tea on what it's like to be a girl navigating her 20s, I'm talking relationships, health, fitness, social life, work, and everything in between, then you're in the right place.
Hello, my girls. We have got a juicy episode today. And you know why it's a juicy episode? Because I've written motherfucking notes. 12-week game plan, bitches. We are going to lose 5 kilos by summer, aka fucking December. Let's do it. Let's go. This is literally a step-by-step guide. We're going to get so specific. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do right now that you can literally listen to this whole episode, write fucking notes, and implement it today. No more waiting for Monday. I know it's Wednesday and you're probably thinking that's so rogue, like I'll do it next week. No, you won't. You are going to action something from this list today, and you are going to start today because summer is not waiting for you. Summer's not waiting for Monday. So let's go straight fucking in. Let's say you want to lose 5 kilos by summer. We need 12 weeks to do that. And if you're like, whoa, 12 weeks, that's a really long time. Click off this fucking podcast right now because we need time to do this, okay? So hear me out, but come into this with an open mind and be ready to just listen and take action and take notes, and don't be hesitant, because the reason you're not where you want to be up to this point is because you are always hesitant. The reason that you haven't made any results up until this point, meaning you still can't fit into those jeans that are tight AF that you know fit you like a glove when they fit you, but you haven't fit into them for ages, when you can't even fathom getting into a bikini this summer. If that is you right now, I think you need to sit here and listen and take notes, okay? First things first, the first thing we're going to do is find your maintenance today. We can actually implement this literally right now, no matter what you've eaten today, right? So what are we going to do? How are we going to find it? How are we going to test it? How are we going to figure out these numbers, right? I want you to just write down or put into MyFitnessPal every single thing that you have eaten today. Whether you're listening to this at 7 a.m., midday, midnight, I don't know when you're listening, girl, but I just want you to collate collate every single thing that you've eaten and put it into MyFitnessPal. Even if you're planning to potentially prep for tomorrow, say you're listening to this really late in the evening, I'll give you some grace, and you're prepping for tomorrow, what I love to do is, okay, I eat the same breakfast every day. I'm probably going to have this for breakfast. I'm going to put that in. Same with lunch. I know what I have in the fridge already. I've got some leftovers from dinner last night. I'm going to put this in X, Y, Z, because that just gives you a really clear roundabout way of like, okay, I'm probably going to eat this. I'm probably going to eat this, but it's not the holy grail, right? I want you to put that all in for the day, yesterday, the last few days that you can remember, and see what number you sit at. Now, every single girl is completely different. Some of you will be really tall, some of you will be really short, some of you might only have a few kilos to lose, some of you might have a little bit more to lose. No matter what situation you're in right now, you will probably be sitting anywhere between 2,000 to 2,500. Now, if you're someone that weighs yourself every single day and you have been eating at a maintenance that you think you have, and you've been gaining weight, maybe your body just fluctuates and you're not gaining weight, right? So something I want you to do is find this number. Let's say it was 2,300, just so we have a number to work on. I want you to eat at that 2,300 point every single day and weigh yourself every single day to see how your body fluctuates. I want you to stick to very similar meals, very similar numbers, really prioritizing your macros, whole foods, nutritious foods, all the things, and see how you're going for 1 week. See how your body weight moves. If you have a very high fluctuating body, as I mentioned, then we're going to do it for 2 weeks. So you've just spent the first 2 weeks finding your maintenance, finding your number, getting into that kind of like rhythm of, okay, cool, my body moves around here on my cycle. When I eat this meal out, it has a bit of extra sodium, a bit of extra water. I notice that my body weight goes up a little bit more on the scale after eating those meals, things like that. I did a very heavy leg day at the gym yesterday. I want you to test all of that, collate all of that data. And if you're sitting here like, oh my God, that sounds so overwhelming, trust me, it is so much better going into a deficit, collating all this data, creating habits and all of these things first before you enter. Because if you just enter into a deficit and you don't know your numbers, you don't have any habits built up, and you have no idea what's going on, and you're not sure how your body responds, your deficit becomes very emotional. You're going to go into a deficit, stepping on the scales, seeing your body fluctuating, not know patterns of data, not know like what actually goes on, and have nothing to really base anything off. So that's what I want you to do. Say it's 2,300, test that for a week or two, and when you're in that phase, your body weight shouldn't be changing that much. You should be fluctuating within a kilo, otherwise it might not be your maintenance. So if you're in the situation where it's going up a lot, or maybe you're even losing, that is a sign that you're not at your maintenance and you need to keep making moves. But we're going to stick at that number for 2 to 3 weeks, get that consistent data. Now, I know I'm moving quick, but hopefully that all makes sense. If you have questions though, slide into my DMs, because I know I'm moving quick, but we need it to be quick and make sense. You don't need to know all the nitty gritties. Every single time you wait to find out all the nitty gritties, you wait to find out the what ifs, the this, the that is why you're never actually taking action. But I've just told you in literally less than 5 minutes of what you need to do right now and what you can action today. And it's probably the most simple way you've ever been told before. And you're probably hesitant. You're probably nervous. Like, fuck, like, is this actually happening? Yes, do it. Okay, so we are then going to go into our deficit. So we have 10 weeks to make moves. So we're going to drop around 300-ish calories from this number. So then you would be at the 2,000 point if we were at the 2,300, and we are going to increase output. Now, it is so common to see online, drop 500 calories, drop 500 calories. But if you just did this maintenance test and you found that you're at about 1,800, something like that, we don't want to drop 500 calories. That puts us at 1,200 calories, which is so limited. So I love to just kind of make smaller moves first, and I always move my girls about 200, 300 calories and increase output first, rather than going, fuck you, we're going minus 500 calories and increase output, death. Absolutely not. That is probably why you've never stuck to it. Reflection moment. I want you to think, how many times have you given up because you've dropped 500 calories and you've been starving? I rest my case. So we're going to drop 300 calories from this number and increase output, whether that's increasing sessions per week or whether that's increasing steps. We're not making any other moves beyond the 300 calories from our nutrition. Otherwise, you just simply die. We don't want to be taking away more food from you. We would rather do a little bit more, whether that's another strength session, cardio session, steps, like whatever it may be. We just want to do a little bit more, because that 500 is super, super low. So we don't want to be losing out on the cows. Okay, this doesn't mean training longer times per day, doing double sessions, like thrashing yourself on the daily. We're just changing how your week actually looks, because we actually want the average over the week. So a deficit really is an average over a week. So say you had a really bad day on the weekend and everything went out of whack, your plans went to shit, you were out of the house all day, you weren't able to get the meals that you wanted to get, and just everything went belly up. Say you literally ate like 500 calories over your deficit. Obviously, in hindsight, it's like not great, because we don't want to be feeling that way and out of control with food. But if we're looking over your weekly averages, if you were slightly under some days or on the money most days, that 500 calories actually wouldn't be too bad, because of how it all evens out throughout the week. Say you're about 100 down each day, let's just say, then you've kind of stayed in your deficit 100% by being 500 calories over on the weekend, because you were 100 calories down each day, which means you were minus 500 and then you ate it on the weekend. Make sense? Obviously, that's not ideal. In an ideal world, we don't want to be having those really high days, because afterwards the scale goes up and it can be a mind fuck, because deficits are really emotional and things. But see how that kind of averages out throughout the week, and it makes it a little bit easier. It means that there's less room to fuck up, because I find that a lot of you think you're instantly going to fuck up and that you're not going to see results. I find in those situations, it's like, oh my God, I fucked up on the weekend, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you didn't fuck up. Like, it's fine. Let's move. So I don't want you to double up any sessions or do anything in a way of punishment. I want it to really make sense and average out over the week. I said I have notes, but I'm like fucking barely looking at them, and I feel like I'm really ranting at you. But okay, we're gonna sidetrack a little bit and step back a little bit. Are you new to nutrition and thinking, oh my God, Jess, you just said to track in MyFitnessPal. I've never tracked in MyFitnessPal. I have no idea what I'm doing. Or maybe you don't actually consider yourself new, but you kind of are. I have an example. One of my girls just joined up Toned and Trendy, and she said she worked with a different coach. I don't know any details, not shitting on a coach. I have no idea. But she said she worked with someone else and it just wasn't really what she was looking for. That's fine. I got her to just track in MyFitnessPal, and then she was like, I don't really know how to track. Again, I don't want to to go and talk shit on some coach, so I didn't go into this conversation, but I instantly thought, oh, that's so weird, because she was working with someone else. Like, I wonder what they taught her and showed her and whatever. And then I said, just try your best and I'll give you feedback based on how you do it. There was so much to change and refine in there, which I love that shit. I love teaching you guys little tips, tricks, hacks on how to make it better, how to make it easier, how to have everything kind of just feel really, really easy. Because again, we want our deficit to feel as easy as possible. And going into a deficit phase and not even understanding how to track your nutrition is super overwhelming and going to derail you very, very quickly. Because we want to make it so simple that excuses aren't even able to come up. But if we don't even know how to track, that is such a valid excuse. Like, I don't even know what I'm tracking, so how the fuck am I going to lose weight? So valid, I get it. So I went and tweaked so much stuff in there, and I understand what it's like to, you might not even be new, you might have worked with someone before, but I always say to my girls, not to toot my own horn, but even if you think you're really fucking good at nutrition, I bet I can make it better. And there's always tweaks I go in and make. And I find it really, really odd that there's so many coaches out there that aren't teaching these things and aren't making it better and aren't making them aware and across of what, like, you girls need to know what you're eating and how to track it properly to make sure it's actually accurate. That's my responsibility to teach you that. That's what I think anyway, but I'm segueing. So if you're new to nutrition, you've never tracked before, you're thinking, Jess, I'm not at that level that your girls in Tone to Trendy are at, you know, what the fuck am I going to do? I just want you to put it in, like I just said what I did with my other girl. Just put it in, just try your best, just with MyFitnessPal, you can actually scan the barcode of the meals, of the, like, so if you get a packet of, I don't even know, rice cakes off the shelf, you can scan that barcode and put it into MyFitnessPal. And then on the back, I want you to just double check with the nutrition label on the back and the entry into MyFitnessPal, because sometimes they can be wrong. So I just want you to double check that before you just go sending it, because sometimes people can just put in really whack entries on MyFitnessPal, unfortunately. So I just want you to be across that, but don't stress, just put it in how you think you're supposed to do it. Just, I ate strawberries, a banana, rice cakes, peanut butter. Just put it in like that, have a little guess, and get familiar with what the calories are inside of food, what the macros are inside food, and just making sure that we are feeling properly. So what I do with some of my girls, if they don't want to track and they're really new to nutrition and they're new to training as well, and there's like, that's a lot. You're new to training, you're new to nutrition, there's so much going on. I'm like, cool, we're just going to introduce a pre-workout meal or a pre-workout snack. Let's go in with some rice cakes, special, some of my girls always eat the Special K twist bar. I love that. It's like actually a bit of a thing in my world now that we all like came in with my Special K. I think it's so funny, but just doing small little tweaks like that, instead of stressing out and thinking I need to have a full bagel with honey and this and that before my session. No, this is too much. Just a little bar on the go, just a little rice cakes, banana, something little for some fuel going in. Okay. And if you're like, girl, I need more, I've actually done an entire episode on breaking down the different elements of the macros and the nutrition and what to eat when and all of the things, as well as an entire episode on dopamine, serotonin, cravings, all of the things. So highly, highly recommend that you go back to that episode. Well, actually, they're two different episodes. Girl, I'm on fire. I'm giving you so much. Go back to those two episodes and take notes and listen to what I said about cravings and dopamine and serotonin and just like different macros and what to eat when and all of these things, because I know you're probably feeling like, okay, Jess, I never know what to eat to lose weight. I don't know what to eat to fuel my session. I don't know, I need energy in the gym, but I don't know which carbs to eat. It's a lot. I know it's a lot. So I want you to go back and listen to that. And the dopamine one will come in clutch when you go and enter into your deficit phase. Because as I said, deficit phases are emotional AF. They feel like you're dying all the time. They feel like someone can literally say something to you when you're not in a deficit and you're like, you couldn't care less. Then someone says something to you in a deficit and you're having a little breakdown. And it's so true and so valid, because we're restricted of that energy. We're restricted of the things we need for our hormones to be healthy. We're feeling all out of whack and our hormones are all imbalanced and we're like, oh my God, what is going on? So I really want you to learn more about that as well, to kind of mentally prepare for it. So we've got 10 weeks. We can break that down into 4 workout blocks, right? Sorry, 3 4-week workout blocks. I don't know how I fucked that up, because you're going to start your workouts in your maintenance phase. So we've got 12 weeks of a breakdown, 4-4-4. So that means we can progress in the gym every 4-week block as well. So let's talk structure with the block. I personally believe training 3 to 4 times a week is the most optimal amount of time to train. Now, I'm going to contradict myself for a minute. I did used to train 5 days a week, but what I found was on my 5th session, it was never nearly as good as my first, my second, my third, my fourth. I always did a 3rd leg session, and then my first and my second leg session in the week was so good, and my 4th one felt like I was just kind of chasing my tail. I was kind of doing similar exercises. I kind of felt like my glutes and my hamstrings and my quads weren't fully recovered from my other sessions, and they weren't the best sessions. So I find 3 to 4 the most optimal. If you are currently training only 1 day a week, maybe you're one of my girls and you're like, I see you once a week for 45 minutes. Love you guys. It's not enough. We need to do a little bit more to get ready for our summer goals. We've only got 12 weeks. So I'm not saying you have to add another session with me, any of those things, but highly, highly recommend switching over or including online. Getting into Toned and Trendy, getting into the online element so you have that inside your back pocket. And I know you're going to say like, girl, I don't even get it. Like a lot of my girls do not get it. They're like, so are you running like live sessions? And I'm like, no, I give you a whole program and you have videos of me doing it. Like it makes so much sense. But then if you work out from home or if you work out in the gym, you can just take it wherever. And I know what you're thinking, like, I don't have much equipment. You would be surprised what you can do with a little bit of dumbbells, like literally small weight dumbbells, a yoga block, a booty band, and like ankle weights. You would be so surprised. And something I always do is I refine. So you might have seen on my story recently, I was doing a little workout with ankle weights. I was doing these pulses. It was a glute burner because I try to test out different things that my girls can do to make sure that it is the most effective and optimal. And so they're not at a disadvantage if they don't have a gym membership, or so they're not at a disadvantage by only being able to potentially afford to be in 1 session per week. They can actually like upgrade, get into that fucking programming online, and instead of having to worry about purchasing a gym membership, we can do like ankle weight work or something like that. You know what I mean? So I always am trialing those things to making sure things are the most optimal. But 3 to 4 times a week, 10 out of 10. No more of this 5 to 7 days a week. Girls think it's such a flex to be in the gym 5 to 7 days a week. And I'm like, it's literally burning you out. Your body's never recovering. You feel a lack of motivation. You don't even want to get in the gym knowing that you have to go 5, 6, 7 days a week. I actually recently changed one of my girls. I was like, I want you to drop a session and focus more on this instead. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you the juicy details. That's what she pays me for. But I was like, we're dropping this, we're doing this. And then ever since then, her body weight has been dropping a kilo every week. Week after week after week, she's dropping. We made one tiny little tweak. And that's almost the whole point. Yet everyone is like 5 to 7 sessions. And I'm like, I do 4. I literally do 4. If your coach does 4, that's almost your permission slip that you can do 4. Like I literally will have the girls come to me, I want to look like you. I'm like, I train 4 days a week. Not 5, not 7, but not 1. So if you're right now doing 1 45-minute session per week, I want you to think, what could I be doing more of? What could I be doing at home? What could I be doing even just going out for a walk? Like what can we be doing? Because let's be frank, there's 167 more hours in the week. I know between work and sleep and whatever, but I'm sure there's a little bit of time in there that you could be training. So let's be so for real, 45 minutes, not enough. So ideally we want to break those sessions down into either a full body, a lower body, and an upper body, or 2 upper body, 2 lower body, and obviously minimal cardio. And this is where the customization kind of comes in. We obviously make those tweaks. We obviously see what's working. We're seeing how your body responds, but I obviously can't take you one-to-one through this summer shred if you're just listening to this podcast and you're not inside my world. So I'm going to give you a little bit of like a breakdown of what the most important things I would be focusing on, because this all sounds great in theory, but how the fuck are we going to fit it into a routine? First things first, 3 to 4 sessions per week, 45 minutes max. 45 minutes to an hour max. We don't need to be doing 1 to 2 hours. We don't need to be doing an hour and a half. We don't need to be flogging ourselves in the gym all day, every day. It should ideally really be 45 minutes of work. And like I say an hour, because obviously we have the warm up, we have the cool down, we have warm up sets, working sets, all of the things. But that is all we need. If you're planning to do 2-hour sessions with 15 different exercises in it, no wonder you resent the gym. No wonder you can never stick to it. I actually saw something the other day. She posted this full workout. It had like 8 exercises in it. And she was like, this is what I'm doing twice a week. Like, is this optimal? I was like, I literally no, too many exercises. We're not doing that. 45 minutes to an hour maximum. Next, breaking steps up throughout the day. Can you wake up 10 minutes earlier, do a couple laps around the kitchen, do a little lap around like wherever if you live on like a suburban street, I can't relate, around the block, like what can we do to do a little bit more? Can we park further away from the station? Can we walk further? Like, can we do laps on the platform? What can we do to just add a little bit more? Break it up, go on a lunchtime walk, an afternoon walk. If you go to the gym, 15 minutes before your session, 15 minutes after your session. Sometimes my girls will literally pull up out the front early and I'm like, go for a walk down the street, come back, then we'll train. Like, cause it's like they're early. And I'm like, go for a walk. Don't tell me you can't get your steps. You're here right now. Go for your walk right now. And they do. They do. Even like the other day, one of my girls was like, I think I might probably come early. And I was like, okay, you could go for a walk. I'm literally dying because if one of my girls is listening to this, she's like, yeah, she fucking always says that shit. Okay, next, plan meal timings around sessions. As I said, making sure that you have that really good pre-workout meal, making sure that you have good carbs before it. It doesn't need to be a meal, but a snack or something, and just really being strategic with it. If you know you have a session with me at 6 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, you should start fucking eating those carbs. Even if one of my girls, I train her 6:30 a.m. So she probably only wakes up around like 5:45 maybe. Just something little. Even if you eat it in the car just before you go in, half a banana, a couple rice cakes. It's nothing heavy. It's because it's quite fast carbs. It's nothing too heavy that you will feel sick in the session. And I can tell when she has, well, not just her, I can tell when anyone has and hasn't eaten. So making sure you're really strategic with your timings, eating regularly enough so that you're not getting those crazy cravings, and then prioritizing rest days. If you're only training 4 days a week or even 3 days a week, you have 3 to 4 days of rest in the week. So being really intentional with having active rest days, not going overboard, letting your glutes, your legs, your arms recover so that you're not feeling really sore. Little bit of a bonus round. I just want you to stick at it. I know this was a lot at once, but I want you to give yourself the grace and the actual reassurance and empowerment that you can do it. I know you can do it. You're on this episode, listening to this episode for a reason. You are so capable of doing it. So I really, really want you to stick at it and remember that consistency is key. Don't just give up because the scale is fluctuating like crazy. Don't give up because you're not seeing changes every single day. Don't feel like just because you only have 10% to give that day, it's a write-off. Every single day amounts up to something. If you have 10% to give and you give 10%, that is literally 100%. I just want you to keep showing up, keep doing the things. Don't let lack of motivation get you down, because to me, the motivation is how fucking hot you're going to look in 12 weeks time. So I want you to get a wriggle on, start calculating your maintenance, start putting in your meals, start figuring out if you're actually feeling your sessions properly, and go from there. And if you're like, Jess, I'm not even able to start at step 1 because I'm struggling with my consistency that bad, you need to download the Consistent Queen bundle. I've linked her below in my show notes. You need to go check her out. I've also linked in my everything I offer. So you can go in, listen to other episodes, all of the things, just so it is all put together. If you're like, what is the Consistent Queen bundle? I'm so confused. It is literally the holy grail of bundles. It has everything you need to create a consistent routine for you that makes sense. It has form feedback videos based on other girls' check-ins. So you're literally going to get real-time form feedback based on other things. And I find that a lot of exercises that girls struggle with are like, everyone's always struggling with the same thing, so you never know what is in there that will help you. Tracking when eating out, I've got a bonus one in there on how I track frangos, how to track going out for date nights and things like that, and how to set out your days. There is so much in there and it is so good. So definitely check it out. I have linked it below. That is all from me. I'm fucking excited. You better go take your progress pictures right now, because I am excited to see you 5 kilos down by summer. If you have any questions on anything I touched on, slide into my DMs and we will chat soon. That's a wrap on another episode of Navigating Your 20s. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to listen. If you enjoyed the conversation, vibes, and got something out of today, please feel free to send me a DM with any key takeaways and feedback, or share on your socials and tag me so we can connect. If you liked today's episode and you're wanting more from me, you can find me on all socials at success.withjess.